Hi, this is Denise Spain with Host-telecom, and we're at the OpenStack Summit in Sydney. And we have the pleasure today to welcome Boris Renski, CMO of Mirantis, and also my CEO, Pavel Chernobrov from Host-telecom. And we're going to be talking today about some of the work we've done together in the data center with OpenStack. And first of all, I'd like to ask Boris to say a few words about Mirantis, and then we'll talk to Pasha, and we'll take the conversation from there.
Thank you. Should I hold it?
Yes, you should hold that.
Yeah, so thank you for conducting this marvelous interview. I think that most of the OpenStack audience knows Mirantis. We were one of the first guys, first pure play startups around OpenStack. Initially focusing just on OpenStack services, then ultimately evolving into an OpenStack product company, and at this point expanding the portfolio of services that we offer beyond just OpenStack, focusing on open containers as service platforms of Kubernetes and various other things. So I think that a couple of years ago, as a part of the ongoing product development work, we typically require quite significant lab infrastructure and hosting infrastructure to do various things, ranging from actually developing our products, developing OpenStack upstream, and also scale testing OpenStack and other products. So to that effect, we naturally, not being in a data center or server management business, always rely on partners to do that part for us. We've been exploring the market for a variety of partners whom we can work with, and ultimately, I think a couple of years ago, zeroed in on HostTelecom, based out of Czech Republic, who's been an extremely reliable and excellent outsourced data center management and hosting partner for us. Ever since we've started, we've had excellent treatment, excellent service, and we've been growing our server footprint with HostTelecom because of that. So thank you for being such a good partner.
I'm going to introduce Pavel Chernobrov, who made all Boris's dreams come true with data center infrastructure.
Thank you very much for introduction and for warm words and some score of our services. So we have been working for Mirantis for several years already, and we are also happy to work with a partner that is requiring untypical services and making really difficult challenges for our team regarding management services and data center services. And we are glad to hear that the customer is growing with us, and the growth was several times for the last years, and it's pretty good result. And I hope that our expertise on OpenStack, we were one of the first data centers in Europe to launch OpenStack clouds and to work with OpenStack, will help us to get more customers and more implementations, especially based on Mirantis products and integration of Mirantis products to our daily basis and new customers.
I just want to ask both of you the following question, and that is, when you began to work together, and Pasha, I think you may be able to speak more to it, but what was your method of communication in being able to grow the kind of test lab that Mirantis required when they were testing their OpenStack distribution?
Yeah, the process of working was as following. When Mirantis comes and asks for some solution or asking for to solve some problem, and sometimes it seems to be unsolved, then we do that, and it's a surprise for Mirantis as well that it can be solved. Then we are getting next and next extension, and the projects are growing like that. And each half a year we are making a test with Mirantis. That test is something difficult task, and they compare partners, and each half a year we have to win that competition to keep going through, and it's my pleasure that we are able to do that.
And Boris, specifically to you, what kind of feedback did you get from your engineers when they were starting to test and to scale those test labs?
Yeah. So generally very positive feedback. To be more specific, typically testing distributed complicated systems like OpenStack or Kubernetes with a variety of different plugins and then kind of deployment topologies requires not only just good understanding of the hardware, but of the actual, software systems running atop that hardware. And our experience has been that with many providers, we are not able to actually communicate and are not able to find common language. It takes an enormous amount of time to explain what we need in terms of a hardware configuration. So what we found with Host-telecom is that their staff is able to speak the language of our engineers. So they understand the problem, they can own the problem of the engineers. And when we approach them and tell them that we need to set up a hardware rack with a particular configuration, a particular networking, a particular set of NICs, and kind of explain the bigger problem as to why, they immediately understand and don't ask a gazillion questions. In fact, they immediately come up with solutions and sometimes propose solutions that are even better than what our own engineers have thought about. And this ultimately saves us a lot of time and makes the whole communication experience very pleasant. So that's why we continue to work with HostTelecom.